Hey family, what's up? You caught me refreshing my makeup, right? I have been nonstop today. It has been just a crazy, crazy busy day. And hang on. I have talked my lipstick. I have talked my lipstick and lip gloss off. Ooh, wee. Okay, so I don't even know where to begin. I feel like, I've been talking so much today to so many different people. I know we chatted a little bit earlier, and I hate to be redundant, um, but I might be redundant. So don't hold it against me if I am. But you guys know, you already know, Amber Geiger, guilty, 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 murder, murder. And so, I've been listening to folks who've been on air with me today, talking on HLN, which, did I share my HLN video with you? I don't think I did. I will do that in just a moment. I will share my video with you from HLN. HLN is Headline News, and they are a part of CNN family. And so I was on there today with my good buddy, Joey Jackson, an attorney out of New York. And we were talking about this whole Amber Geiger situation. So I will share that with you. And then, I've been listening to other pundits, if you will, other talking heads who have a lot to say about this verdict and all of that. And oof, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I want to share all of that with you as we do this. I'm just gonna. I might be trying to do, as my kids say, too much. But I want to share with you. I'll do it when we're done. I'll share with you my HLN situation. And yeah, I'll do it when we're done. I'll do it when we're done. You'll get a chance to see what I said on HLN. And hey, Denise, and God is good, girl, all the time, all the time. And so listen, I was concerned because, we haven't had a sentencing come down. But what I did here, and so I guess this is true in Dallas, the judge is going to be the one that's going to sentence her. And so, that could go, that could go real left real quick, right? Because the judge looked like she don't play. And for those of you who didn't see, they talked a lot about Amber's past because her attorneys, I don't know. We now know that Amber was using drugs in the past. And so maybe her attorneys, maybe they went out back and, had a joint or something, because the stuff they were doing, have been doing during this trial just makes you wonder, did y'all really want to win or what the hell? They brought in her good character. And so once they made a comment about her good character, then that opened the door for the prosecution to bring in all manner of foolishness about who Amber Geiger really is. Because you guys know, like I know, cops, white cops particularly, get in these little chat rooms and they like to talk. They like to just let their hair down and be themselves, right? And so now the judge is letting in all of this stuff about who Amber Geiger really is. And so part of what came in towards the very end before they shut down for the day was that when she applied, I believe, for the job as a Dallas police officer, she had to put some stuff on her application. And, she had to be honest. And I assume that she was, because they will eliminate you for being dishonest. Even if you ran over a family of midgets, you would want to say that. It could be criminal, but you would want to say that, because if you don't say it and they find out that you run over a family of midgets, that will be grounds for disqualification. So she was honest, I guess, about having been involved in some drug activity between July 2009 and June 2011. She smoked marijuana, she says, about 3 times, and she used some other drug. Now, they didn't say what the other drug was, but she did each of them 3 times each. That's not so many times, is it? Just 3 times. And found out that she had applied not only for Dallas PD, but she had applied for Fort Worth Police Department and also DFW Airport Police. So this heifer wanted to be the police real bad. Now, she said in her direct testimony that she'd been wanting to be a cop since she was 6 years old. And see, those are the people that concern me. Anybody who says they want to be a cop, they wanted to be a cop since they were 2, should probably be eliminated right then and there. Just take them out back and put them out of their misery, because usually that's a fool. Usually. Not all the time. I'm not, broad blanket brushing everybody. But, Timothy Loman wanted to be a cop really bad. And we know that he applied for about 18, 20 different police departments before he finally found his way over to Cleveland Police Department after he had been shown the door on, I believe it was I want to say Jennings Police Department. I'm not exactly sure. Or Independence, one or the other, because I get those two confused. Him and Mike Brown both. Him and Darren Wilson, the guy who shot and killed Mike Brown, came from prior police departments. One came from Jennings and the other one came from Independence. And I'm not really sure which is which. But my point is that Timothy Loman had applied for, like I said, about 18 or so departments before he got hired by Cleveland. And we know what happened when he was hired by Cleveland. 6 months later, he shot and killed 12-year-old Tamir Rice. And we know that Betty Shelby, after she shot and killed Terrence Crutcher, she went on to another police agency next door, Sheriff's Department, and she's working over there. And we know that there was a gentleman by the name of William Dent in Michigan. Thankfully, he wasn't killed, but he was savagely beaten a few years back by a police officer. His last name was Melendez, something like that. And Inkster PD picked this officer. No, Inkster PD is the one that fired him. And then he went on to join another police department. And I can't remember the name. I'm good. I have a lot of stuff in here, but right now I'm having a senior moment. And I can't remember what department that guy went to after he left Inkster Police Department, after he had savagely beaten William Dent, who William Dent did get a little settlement. This guy went to another police department, something Heights. It was a 2-name department, and I think it was in Michigan. So they like to, Eric Casebolt straddled that little girl in McKinney, Texas. They just settled a civil suit with her not too long ago. And before he was on McKinney, Texas PD, he had been a Texas State Ranger. And before that, he had been a police officer in the city of Oklahoma. So listen, these people are just, they are determined, they are persistent. And, a lot of times they live to offend again, which is what happened here with Amber, because I found out some stuff today with some of my panel mates about the foolishness that she had been involved in. A month before she shot and killed Botham Jean, she had been involved in a situation where she had a handcuffed suspect get away. And when this handcuffed suspect got away, what she did was she didn't tell the on-duty supervisor about it. I guess they eventually found him, and Lord only knows what happened when they found him. Ooh-wee. But anyway, she didn't tell the on-duty supervisor. She waited until the next day when Sergeant, what's his name? Robert Watson, I believe is his name. He's a sergeant in C.R.A.H. So she waited until he came back to work. Yeah, Sergeant Robert Watson. She waited until he came back to work so that she could tell him about the suspect getting away. Now, why did she do that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because she was supervisor shopping. And listen, if you have a supervisor who, is down with the bullshit, then that's the one you want to go to. And listen, as a cop, I'm just telling you what I know, you guys. There's supervisors, and police officers want a cop's cop. You want a cop's cop as a sergeant. You want a cop's cop as a chief. You want somebody who's going to back you, when you do something that you probably shouldn't have done, right? And so she didn't tell the on-duty officer, the on-duty supervisor, the night that this guy got away. They probably lumped him up when they found him. She waited till the next day to tell this Sergeant Robert Watson. He was off duty when she let the suspect get away. She waited till the next day. Why? Well, because evidently Sergeant Robert Watson allowed her to live to offend again. And that wasn't the only thing that she had been involved in. It's reported somewhere that she had been involved in a shooting. I don't think it was a fatal shooting, but she had been involved in something. And so listen, she lived to offend again. this is what happens time and time again. It's not until they do something where there's a loss of life and it goes national, it goes bananas, and they cannot hide it, that now they got to say, okay, all right, damn, girl, why you do that? Let's help you come up with something. Because after she shot and killed Botham Jean, they start calling everybody, calling in the cavalry. You saw it on the video during court. Everybody was showing up at the Southside Flats so they could hold her little hand and make her feel better, because she just didn't want to be alone, right? That's why she was calling Martin. She didn't want to be alone. But what we saw her doing in the hallway, and when we saw her on the phone pacing around like a damn saber-toothed tiger talking on the phone, I believe, because I'm cynical and skeptical, because I'm a cop and I know cops, I believe she was on the phone with folks because she had already said, I fucked up. Help me figure this out. Tell me what to say. And that's why we heard her saying, because cops know that they are creating an audio record. And we heard her say, I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired. She was saying all that while she's pacing in Botham's apartment, because she was paving the way for this defense that I thought it was my apartment. She had been texting to, oh boy, Martin Rivera, Mrs. Rivera's husband, about, I fucked up, hurry, I need you. She said she trusted him. He was so experienced. I need him, hurry. I need you over here to tell me what the fuck to say, is probably what was going on, right? I need you to tell me what to say. Say this. Because when she said, hurry up, I need you, I effed up, she didn't even tell him where to come. She didn't say, here's where I am, here's what I did, here's what you need to know, what do I do? Because I believe they already had a conversation, because they do a lot of pillow talk, albeit in the car, right? All that touching going on. They were probably talking about, you know, what was going to happen when she got over to the apartment and when she confronted Botham Jean. So, you know, I'm going over there. And he probably told her, because he's so experienced, he probably told her, stay in your uniform. Don't take your uniform off. They won't know whether you on duty or off duty, girl. Just listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm experienced. And so she did it because she trusts him. She stayed in her uniform and she went over there and she confronted Botham about smoking marijuana, because the leasing office asked her to do that. And they won't say it because of liability. And then it went really, really bad. And so when she got a hold of Martin, she just said, hey, I effed up. Hurry over here. I need you. She didn't have to explain to him how she effed up. They already knew. He already knew. They had talked about it. That's what partners do. You know, she said, we in the car for 8 hours every day, and sometimes longer if I can get some overtime. So they got a long time to talk about all sorts of stuff. That's what partners do. You get real close. Sometimes you get too close. And so, you know, they were probably coaching her and telling her, here's what you need to say. Here's how you make this right. Somebody from their Benevolent Police Officers Association showed up over there in the parking structure. It was a whole bunch of people over there. They put her in the car, pretending under the guise of get in the car, you know, why? So she could be shielded from what was going on. We know that they told her when they brought Botham Jean's body down, hey, get in the car. She was about to get out. She'd been sitting in the car. You could see her texting to Martin, probably. You could see her texting, and then she was about to get out, and then they were bringing Botham's body down, and, you know, her buddies circled the wagons, and they told her, hey, girl, the body's coming. Get back in the car. You don't want to see this. So she jumped back in the car because, oh, that's going to ruin her whole situation. That's just going to make her day that much worse if she has to actually see his body come by. So they did everything that they could. They did everything that they could to protect her and to shield her and to coddle her, and, you know, to their detriment, because they probably should have got in that ass a month earlier when she was doing stupid stuff. But she's Amber Guyger from the C.R.A.S.H. She's the only female in that unit. And so those guys were willing to, you know, look the other way because, you know, they wanted her there to touch. But now, if she thinks she was alone before, because police officers are not allowed to fraternize with convicted felons, even if the convicted felon is a cop. And I know this to be true because, listen, I've been around the sun a couple of times, y'all, and I done seen and done some stuff. And I had a partner when I was working South Bureau Crash, and some of you on here with me will know exactly who I'm talking about. And he got involved in committing robberies while off duty as a police officer, and he wound up going to jail. And one of the things that the department told, folks was you can't have nothing to do with him. You got to stay away from him. And, none of us wanted to lose our job. And, while we may have been hurt and bothered because he was a friend, could not associate with him. And so those officers are not going to risk their job for her. Listen, Amber Geiger was good for one thing and one thing only. They finding somebody else to touch by now. They probably got another female in that unit. They're going to do a punctious pilot on her little behind. And what needs to happen is they probably need to put that ass on suicide watch. Because listen, she a little tiny thing, and she going to have a hard way to go when that ass get in jail. I know they're going to put her in a special unit, but listen, anybody can get got. And we know this to be true because look at Whitey Bulger. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know if somebody got him or if he did himself, but anybody can get got. And, she's going to have a hard way to go. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think she's going to get a lot of time because if the judge is the one who imposes the sentence, this sister don't look like she's the wrong one. And if she's not the one that imposes the sentence, if it's the jury, because I heard a lot of pundits early on saying that, they need to get a whole new jury because the jury heard the crowd in the hallway celebrating when they announced the guilty verdict. And they thought that was too prejudicial, and the jury that's going to sentence her should not be able to be the same jury that heard the jubilation in the hall. If the jury is the same that's going to sentence her, there's 8 women on that jury. And while, there's a whole lot of stuff that was said with regards to law and procedure and, jury instructions and all of that, those 8 women cannot unhear this heifer is a side piece. And after the shooting, the first thing that she thought to do was try to reach out to some other woman's husband. And 2 days after that, she was still reaching out to this woman's husband, telling him whatever she was saying to him in text messages and sext messages. So we know that she didn't delete those messages, try to delete them, because she was embarrassed and because it was immoral. She deleted it because she knew she was dead ass wrong. She knew she was violating policy. She knew she shouldn't have been doing her partner. Her partner knew he shouldn't have been doing her. He was senior. He'd been around long enough to know, but I guess it was just, it was just too good to resist. I mean, shit, she's right here 12 inches away from me. Want to touch? So those women cannot unhear that. Contrast that with the amazing job that Botham Jean's mother did on the stand today, talking tearfully about how much her son meant to her and what he would have meant probably to the world had he been given an opportunity to be here with us 2 days after his birthday while he's not here. What an amazing gift. What an amazing birthday present for the Jean family to have this heifer found guilty and know that she's going to do some time, know that she can't get probation. She won't be able to get a slap on the hand like a Guyger Guilty's suspect shooting officer did in New York, NYPD officer. Nguyen, forget his name. It was an Asian officer on probation. Shot and killed a Guyger Guilty who was in an apartment complex. The officers on the NYPD were doing vertical patrol, and this probationary officer was in the hallways, in the stairwell. A Guyger Guilty and his girlfriend stepped into the stairwell. Now, who would ever expect that citizens who live in an apartment building in New York would actually use the stairwell? Says a Guyger Guilty. Says the officer. He shot and killed a Guyger Guilty, and he was given probation. So, Amber Geiger's not going to get probation. And I think as they talk and contrast Botham Jean to her, side piece, liar, no credibility, willing to say and do anything to avoid accountability, If the judge doesn't hold her accountable, then the jury will. I think whoever is ultimately responsible for this, I think they're going to hold her accountable. So, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. And let me see. I'm looking at your messages. Joseph, you're pleased with the verdict and hopefully the sentence will match the crime. You know what I said today when I was on TV? I said it would be nice. Hey, Vance, it would be nice if they could give her something commiserate with what she gave Botham Jean. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be fair. But I don't imagine that's even within the realm of possibility. But I hope, like you, Vance, I hope she does get a good chunk of time. And so that's a little bit of what I heard. Now, because they were talking about her character and how good it was, the judge let in her social media. And in her social media, there's stuff that the attorneys were able to grab before she could scrub clean all of her social media. See, that's why these young people, I tell my kids all the time, and they go, oh, Mom, you watch too much TV. You don't know anything, because they think I'm a dinosaur. My kids pretty much listen to me, but a lot of kids don't. And they think that because they hit delete, that somehow stupid stuff goes away. Once you hit send, family, understand it's there forever. It may not be on your desktop, it may not be on your phone, but it's on somebody's server. Know that. And so they found all kind of stuff that she was saying. I guess she had to work a Martin Luther King event and she didn't want to be there. So she was texting with some other person. Oops, I almost said a Klansman, because, there's a lot of chatter out there that, some people feel like she's a card-carrying Klanswoman, right? And so there was a lot of chatter because she didn't want to be on this Martin Luther King detail. And she was talking about how, she was ranting about how long it had been. And she was like, oh, Lord, when is this going to end? Like she was so sick of it. So they had this back and forth. And so she says, I guess it'll end, when he's dead. Oh, LOL, she says. And then she went on to say that, there were so many people there that looked like me, probably. And that, what she wanted to do or what they wanted to do as a collective, the officers, was just pepper spray them and just get them out the way. Just pepper spray them and have this over with so they could go home because they didn't want to be there providing security, police presence for this MLK event. All of this stuff came out today. She also talked to someone about thinking she wanted to get a dog. Now, she did have a dog, so maybe this was conversation that went on before. And her friend said to her that she has a German Shepherd, or she said you should get a German Shepherd. But her friend said that her dog, her German Shepherd, was racist. This is what her friend said. Her German Shepherd was racist. And so Amber said, yeah, me too. I'm the same. Racist. Then Amber was talking with, I believe it was Martin Rivera, and they were, complaining and belly aching about some other officers that they had to work with on another detail. And Martin Rivera said something, he's like, I'm stuck over here with these 5 black guys. I don't know that that's what he said. That's how he referred to them. But he was talking about 5 black officers. And he says, I'm not racist, but, and then he made this comment. If you got to say I'm not racist, then, you probably are. And so then Amber says, well, yeah, I'm not racist either, but, they just have a different way of doing things, so that's code talk, for different way of doing things, different from what she and Martin do, because he's so experienced and, she learned so much from him, right? And that's why she wanted to go to that area so she could learn, because it was busy, right? Family in Southside Flats area, Southeast Patrol area. You understand what I'm talking about. We've been having this conversation offline about, who lives over there. And I've already told you, I already know. I knew when I heard her say it, who she was talking about, because I know how cops talk. I know how white cops talk. I know how they'll talk sometimes boldly in the presence of somebody who looks like me until they find out maybe that's not a good idea. And I know how they'll talk freely when they think that there's no one around, because I know black officers who are very fair complected, and who have shared with me over the years how when they were on LAPD, these white officers didn't know who they were. They didn't know what to make of them. They just assumed because they were fair that they were white. And they just talking, yucking it up, saying the stuff that they say when they think they're, in same company. And so this is how officers comport themselves. Not all officers, not every officer, but they're there. So please, let's not pretend, those who have heartburn about what I'm saying, let's not pretend that they're not out there and that they don't exist, because they do. And if we continue to pretend, and if we continue to act like none of this stuff is real, then we'll never be able to fix it. And so I am all about, let's call a spade a spade. Let's say a thing is a thing, and then let's figure out how to fix it. Because unless and until we admit that there's a problem, then what is there to fix? Oops. Did I just say what I think I said? Okay. We're becoming too familiar with one another. Clearly, I need to bring back CNN, Cheryl. Y'all can't just talk to, Let me bring Sergeant Dorsey back on deck. I can't have y'all talking to Cheryl because she's a hot mess right now. But that's what's going on, family. That's what happened today. And it has been like rock'em sock'em. Again, I date myself. You guys remember those little robots, the little rock'em sock'em robots, and they would punch each other and the head would go up and come off? I think that's what happened. I never had a rock'em sock'em, but I had little boy cousins who did. And because I'm a tomboy, I never wanted to play with my stuff. I wanted to play with the trick track and, rock'em sock'em robots and those little football men that you would put on the little thing and turn it on and they would vibrate and the football men would. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Don't act like I'm making this stuff up. But yeah, so it was an action-packed day. There was a lot to be said, and I would imagine tomorrow when they continue that the judge will certainly give the family however much time they want to take to express themselves in the midst of these victim impact statements. And then I think once they're done, I think she's going to drop the hammer. Amber Geiger said that she hated herself and she didn't even want to be here. She wished Botham would have had the gun instead of her. Girl, bye. If she didn't want to be there, she wouldn't have mounted that defense. I mean, shit, I'm sorry. If she didn't want to be there, if she didn't think she deserved to be with her family and friends, all she had to do was just come in and plead guilty. She didn't have to put us through that whole 6-7 days of crocodile tears if she really hated herself. And so that's why she's disingenuous. That's why she lacks credibility. And I think everybody else who's been watching that dog and pony show that she tried to put on last Friday were not moved by any of what she had to say. So that was it. We'll see. We'll see what kind of sentence she gets. She's going to get something. She's going to get something. I just don't know what it is. And what you say, Stephen, come as I are, come as I am, come as I are. You would think I had been drinking. Maybe I should have a drink. I need something to, soothe the savage beast. Something that's going to help me sleep tonight because I still am just a little wired for sound. And I want to be able to clear my head, clear my thoughts. And part of it is me talking to you guys. This is very cathartic for me, you guys. You don't even know that you right now are my therapist. You are helping me get stuff out of my head so that I'll be able to sleep tonight. Been a lot going on. Was not expecting the jury to come back with this guilty verdict, certainly not so quickly. And so, that's the first phase. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the attorneys handling the civil suit that's coming. They reminded me of the little, what were the little guys from The Wizard of Oz? Munchkins, right? I mean, they did everything but the damn lollipop dance because they understand With this guilty verdict, they just added 3 more zeros to that civil suit. And so they did everything but the lollipop dance. I don't mean to be, silly. I can't help it. But, the family's going to have to be compensated, and rightfully so. And I don't know what that's going to look like. But clearly, if when the mom takes the stand in the civil trial, really probably what Dallas ought to do is just go ahead and raise in property taxes and state taxes right now so that they can be ready for whatever is about to happen in this civil settlement. Ain't no need in letting this thing go to trial. I think Benjamin Crump, Lee Merritt, and the other gentleman whose name I don't know will be able to have them understand that if we go to trial, if this thing goes to trial, then that's 3 more zeros. So you might just want to go ahead and do right by the family now and settle. Let's just settle this now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm happy about it, family. And, like I said, doesn't change that Botham is gone and he won't be back and his family won't get to enjoy him. But this needed to happen. And one of the things that I was asked about today on TV is, what kind of a message does this send to police officers? I don't think this sends any kind of message to police officers because I believe by and large, the majority of police officers do the right thing. The majority of police officers understand what policy and procedure is and when you can use deadly force and when you don't. We only hear about the knuckleheads that are tarnishing our badge because they seem to be the squeaky wheel that's getting all the oil, our attention, right? They're making the most noise. I think most officers will continue to comport themselves appropriately. And this is not going to have any effect on what it is that they do day to day. Now, for the knuckleheads, for the Martin Riveras, if he's a knucklehead, and I'm not saying he is, I'm just saying he's involved in this case. For Amber Geiger, for Roy Olivers, for, don't give me the naming people, Timothy Loman, Betty Shelby, Ray Tenzing, who shot and killed Sam DuBose, for the officer that shot and did not kill but injured Charles Kinsey over in Florida, the man who was helping an autistic patient. For those kind of folks, this should give them pause. For those who live to offend again and were able to get the gift of resignation and go on to another police department, this should give them pause. I get that you got over Eric Casebolt on the McKinney, Texas Police Department. I get that you were given an opportunity to go and work as a reserve deputy, Betty Shelby, and maybe encounter another Black man who has a significant stature that might scare the bejesus out of you, and you might kill him too. But you guys better think twice. Tide is shifting. I think this was a precedent-setting situation in that now police officers can't just willy-nilly say, oh, I was scared. I was frightened. Why? If it's not reasonable, like this shooting was not reasonable and it didn't make any sense, then you better damn well be able to articulate real fear and that you exhausted every other option, every other tool that was available to you before you jumped to deadly force, before you made a calculated decision to take a life. Because if you don't, you too can get Amber Geiger treatment, Roy Oliver treatment, Jason Van Dyke treatment, you too. So we'll see. We'll see, family. It's a good day. It's a good day, and I'm happy about it. Who's talking to me? Stephen, you got a lot to say. Okay, something about the Pasadena officer who beat up Chris Ballou. I know a little bit about that. I think that was a young man that was stopped in a gas station. The officers jumped out and beat him up. Yeah, I think this will give those knuckleheads, the elephant hunters, that's what we call them on LAPD, the guys who want to get a felony every night. They don't have time to, go and handle report call or recover a stolen vehicle because they want to go out and get felons. They're out there, hunting elephants because they're Billy Badass, like Amber Guyger from the CRT. Yeah, you're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. So I probably will not, I should not see you until Thursday for Sergeant Dorsey Speaks Live at 5 p.m. on Thursday. And I don't even know what we're going to talk about come Thursday. That's just 2 days away. Lord only knows. I hope that there's not that much jumping off, but I'll come back. And if nonetheless, we'll just have a conversation about the sentence, because by then we should know. So does anybody have anything for me while you guys are here? I will try to answer any quick questions that you might have. I know some of you were asking earlier about, why wasn't she handcuffed and, traipsed out? Why didn't she have to do the perp walk? Well, because, the trial was still going on. And while they had convicted her, she was due to come back for the whole sentencing hearing. And so at some point, we may get a chance to see her do the perp walk. And, if not, because we saw her get the homie hookup when they first booked her, right? We saw them, give her 3 days to get her business in order, come up with the money. We saw them take her in and 30 minutes later, book her, fingerprint her, photograph her, and then she was out the back door. It's Dallas. And, they may give her love with regards to allowing her to walk into the back without being handcuffed for everyone to see, because in my mind, it seems like a lot of what was done, was all about poor little Amber. And, we want to make sure she's having a good day, right? So, anyway, we'll see what happens. So thanks for tuning in, family. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for letting me come to you day after day after day, because I think this is like the third day and twice today we've done this dance. I appreciate you. And so until we get together again in a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and upload that HLN video. And also tonight, my producer is still working on my podcast because I was a little tardy getting it to him, but it'll go up sometime tonight. Thank you, K Rose, for all that you do and for hanging in there with me and being so patient. I should have got this to you over the weekend and I didn't, but I'm glad that I didn't now, because we wouldn't have been able to add these last minute things with the guilty verdict. So family, my Sergeant Dorsey Speaks podcast will be up tonight. I will let you know. Hey, Trent, damn, you're late. Dude, what's up? To be here at 5 o'clock. Only I get to be late, not you. And I was pretty good. I wasn't too late. I started pretty close to 5 o'clock. So not to worry, Trent. We'll see you on Thursday, 5 p.m. live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. East Coast. And try to make it then, okay? Everybody, till then, be good, be safe.